try your best not to get it everywhere. Going back into the flesh tone now, and I'll do that area that I missed. And I'll do all the other areas as well in this colour, because I'm a clumsy so-and-so. Just paint, don't worry about things, don't stress out over it. If you make a mistake, adjust it. When you don't make mistakes, you just get the paint in the wrong place, you can just adjust it. Need to make an adjustment here of where the grey has gone onto the skin part. That's no big deal. There we are. That's all we have to do, not a problem. Next job is the little leather skirty thing that I can never remember the name of, and for that we're going to use Doombull Brown. Yeah, you should be used to using this colour by now for those, the one I usually use. So I'll pop it on the palette. In fact, I might pop a little bit in a separate area, pop in a little bit of that Administratum Grey, just to change the shade of the brown slightly. And do that instead, just as I say, for a change. No, that's the last bit of it. I want the scabbard to be done on a darker colour. Than the leather straps. I thought I might do that in Doombull Brown, but okay, one of those things. You have these ideas and then you change your mind. You take some of that blue and the Doombull Brown, and I'll do the scabbard in this colour, There we go. This may very well be very, comparable to Rhinox hide. Or just slightly darker than what you call it, dryad bark. Similar colour to one of them, and I can't work out which. I think it might be more towards the Rhinox hide shade of things. So that's that bit done. What I'm going to do next is going back into the Doomball Brown, and let's paint the sandals. Normally do this at the very end, one of the last things I do, but today I thought, what the heck, let's get it done. There's not much left of it, so rather than ignore it, use it. Oops. And we'll just make sure that we get all of this done. The bristles have gone a little bit wild rather. There we go. And once we've done this, we'll get on to washing. I'm going to put some more of the Doomball Brown on the palette, only because I need some. There we go. And I'll just make sure all the sandal is covered. We're not leaving any straps or anything. There we go. That, I think, is now again. I look at things and I see bits and pieces of places I've missed. There we go. That will do fine. I'm not too bothered about the underside, to be honest, but I'm going to give it just a quick once over because I can see areas that are just that little bit patchy. just to make sure it's all covered. And I'm going to now just double check to make sure I've got everywhere I want to get at this stage, and then I'm quite happy with that, so let's get on with washing. First off, first wash we're going to use is Mythic Flesh Shade. We're going to use that, surprisingly enough, for the flesh. So, let's start off with the hands. Now with this I'm going to go over the metal chains here. This is going to dull them down quite a bit. It's not going to have that same metallic look, because when you put a wash on it, it does cover it and it does lose its metallic sheen. So there we have it for that step. Next, we're going to do the cape and the cloth areas, and for that one, Drakenhof Nightshade. I said I wanted to do a very dark bluish colour for the cape. I'm going to make sure that I do the cape first, because I don't want to run the risk of this bleeding into the area we've just done. I'm going to try and be as careful as I can with the application of this. that should be it for this part. I really need to now step away once this is finished. Step away and make sure when I come back that it's all dry. So I usually walk away for about an hour, keep going back to it and making sure that it's not flooded completely anywhere that I need detail showing, because that can be a bit of a pain when you just wash it, when you've washed it and you go leave it alone, and when you come back it's all flooded one particular area and it doesn't look right. I'm going to move this around because it's in danger of happening there. Basically what flooding means, it just sits on an area, doesn't move, and then you've got a great big splodge and wash when it's dried, and it looks, you can disguise it, but if you can make sure it doesn't happen in the first place, it makes it much nicer. So there we are, that's all we're doing for this mini. When we come back we're going to be starting highlighting, so I'll see you right after the transition. Okay, we're back and everything's nicely dried now, as you can see. All we have to do now is start highlighting. Now this may be a short part of the video, I don't know yet, because I'm waiting for Ali to give me a bell to go and pick her up. When she does that I'm going to have to go, because she's not at home, she's visiting a friend. So as you can also see from palette cam, we've got a nice clean palette. I've not been too good over the past few days since I started painting Aries. I've not had a chance to continue paint it. We started this on Monday, it's now Friday. So I'm carrying on now, and as I said, I've not been too good. The paint's dried up on the thing because it's been under the light, and the water started evaporating. I forgot to put the lid on. My own stupid fault. It's still a bit damp, or the paper was still a bit damp underneath, and as I've come to take the palette paper off to clean it off, the whole thing's just ripped. So one of those things, but let's get on with it, shall we? Start off Bestigo Flesh. This is the base coat we used for the skin tone, and pop some more of this on the palette. We might need quite a bit of this, I don't know, but I'm going to put a bit on. We may need more than that yet, we will find out later. Oops. Oh, my spray cans are falling over. Oh well. He. Right, we're starting off doing the skin tone and highlighting, or the first layer of highlighting for the skin tone. This is the one where we usually do most of the skin tone, again because of picking up the giving the mid-tone and the natural flesh colour rather than actually highlighting as such. So let's start. Well, we're going near enough everywhere with this that is slightly raised, leaving any recesses. And so we're looking to keep this as the main skin tone, which is why we're doing this as like a mid-tone colour. This is the actual tone of the skin, not the highlight. So anywhere that is an area that's raised will get covering with this, whether it's in shadow or not. And we're down on the toes now. We're very near the end of painting the skin tone. Yep, I think that is it. So it's only subtle at the moment. You can't really tell all that much of what's going on, but once we get a little bit further into it, then these details will pop out quite obviously. Okay, so that's that bit done. Next, let's get on with the metallics, shall we? So for the metallics we want, in fact I'm going to do this very basic. Runefang steel. I'm just going to give this a good shake. I'm going to give this a gooder a shake. I need to this is just unfortunate on the pigment has settled to the bottom of the tub, so rather than give it a shake I'll give it a stir. Not sure where I got these long plastic tubes from, but they're coming really well for stirring things. They've written something, I don't know what. I really can't remember now. But give it a stir. Now I'll give it a shake. And just make sure that we have the pigment mixed in as much as we can get. And now we'll just move the bits off and waft it over the shield. and then over the sword. And as you can see, I'm just making a downward motion. Because we want to make it look as though the light is coming from the top. I need to get some more. There we go. And here we'll just tickle in some dry brushes there. And now the helmet. I'll just give the shield another going over to pick out the raised areas, and that will do for that for the moment. And we're going to be going over these a little bit later, but not with this brush. No, I don't want to be doing it with that brush because it's too big, way too big. So we're not doing. Next job is these toga blind. I'm not saying loincloth because it's not a cloth, is it really? It's something else. And for that we're going to use again Administratum Grey. We'll just bring out the creases with that. This is just going to be a long, steady, what you call it, a long, steady run of just basically picking up details and a nice point to our bristle my brush. And there we go, and I can either use the point or the edge of the brush to do this. Sometimes it's easier using the edge. And as you can see, I'm not too fussy at the moment about getting it all nice and neat, as long as it doesn't go into the creases and too much into the recesses. That's all that I'm bothered about. And what I'm doing here now is just picking out the raised areas so we are ready later on for applying the next highlight. And there we go. Now there are going to be parts of this where it's going to be difficult to get to with the edge of the brush, so use the point. This is a very multi-use tool, this paintbrush. You can use it in various ways. Don't restrict yourself to just using it like a pen, because if you do that you'll not get the full benefit of using the brush. Use it any way you can to get the job done. There we go. And as we say, not everywhere is ridged, so don't try to make it so if there's a flat area, go over the flat area with this colour. Just don't spoil any of the shadow areas we did with the wash. With this, we do not want this going down into the crevices at all. We want them nice and dark. There we are. That's that one. Next job, highlighting the cloak.